Hey guys, how are you? I actually can't see with these on. But now I can't see you, so I'm going to connect with you all for a moment, and then I'm going to put these away because I got to read. You know, Robin, thanks for setting that up, actually. I was trying to figure out how do I get started here, and what you said about being in the moment, connecting with people, and winging it. Did you say winging it? Yeah, that's the AIESEC way. But honestly, the imposter syndrome kind of thing resonated with me. I felt that thing my whole entire life, and I'm so humbled here today because who knows Michael Stewart? Yeah? So Michael Stewart was supposed to be here today. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it, so I'm his stand-in, so I'm an imposter for Michael Stewart. Michael was, to me, he was AIESEC God. Was he AIESEC God to some of you too? Yeah, nah. He was an inspiration to me. He was like the JFK of AIESEC. Anyhow, I do want to thank the organizing committee, the steering committee, and especially Edith Gong, our tireless OCP. Where's Edith? Yeah, shout out to Edith. But I'm really honored and thrilled to have this opportunity to talk to all of you tonight. I really want to thank you all for coming to celebrate the 60th anniversary. I know personally, and I know for most of you too, it's a big commitment to travel, to spend a whole weekend, and perhaps even without your kids. I haven't seen my kids since Sunday, so I miss them a lot, and I'm sure you do too. But it's good to be with you tonight. It's especially amazing to see all these familiar and friendly faces. And that's one of the hallmarks of AIESEC. John Allen said, you go anywhere and you have a friend in AIESEC, or your family's everywhere. So that's really, really special. I was going to do this whole bit where we're all going to stand up and sort of celebrate each other, but that was already done a few times over. So I'm going to cross that out. Let's do that. So that's that's a few pages less. So my speech is down to 3 minutes. By the way, Lionel, where's Lionel? Lionel Simmons, sorry. Did they tell you that we're doing skits by generation? Are you prepared? No. Yeah, I'll do one with you. No, I'm kidding, but thank you for being here. It's actually an honor to have you here and to see, the pioneers, as you are called. It's amazing. So it's such a major milestone and special moment for AIESEC United States, celebrating 60 years of our long and rich history, seeing a lot of them here, on the slides. I don't have slides, don't press a button. But think about all the stories and peak moments that have been shared by all of us. You've heard some of them here on the stage, and I'm sure you're all reconnecting and telling them at the table. And that's a typo. I'm used to it. It's, that's okay. I'm rolling with it. But these stories, so we come back to AIESEC because we share these bonds, we have these stories, we have these situations that we found ourselves in that we work through together, right? And nothing bonds people like conflict and challenge and working through it together. But we're also here to celebrate the next generation of AIESEC leaders by fundraising and creating opportunities for them to attend conferences. So I could not be more excited to see all the LCPs here and the MC here. Again, it's so great that you guys could be here, and I hope to see some of you tonight. I've met some of you already. I was at AIESEC San Jose last week, it's just like flashback to small office, rotary phone. What was it? What else was there, Robin? That was AIESEC Long Beach too. But do you all remember how these events changed? They changed our lives. You would never have projected from where you were then to where you are now, and that being a straight line. It was completely this windy road, and you met all these amazing people along the way. I happened to meet my wife at AIESEC, so way to go, Dariusz and Trisha. We just celebrated 20 years. That's exciting. But unfortunately, Trisha couldn't be here. She is very responsible, and she's got the kids. but she misses you all, those of you who know her, and I wish you could be here. So my story kind of windy too. I was born in Poland. My parents escaped communism when I was quite young. I lived briefly in London. I was with a foster family till I was 5 years old. And then my parents sort of picked me up again, and we went to Norway. And I grew up in Norway. My father always told me that I'd go to a university in America someday, and I had no idea what that meant, and he had no idea how that was going to happen. But it happened, and it happened because I ended up on the swim team, and I became a pretty decent swimmer, so I traveled around the country a lot and ended up on a swim scholarship. But despite all that international experience that I had, I spoke multiple languages, my friends were all over the place. Each AIESEC conference gave me a new and bigger perspective on the world. Each conference I attended inspired me to want to go further, to want me to climb higher. And each person that I met at each conference, did the same thing for me. So, snaps, I guess, is what we do these days. Yeah, snaps to all of the amazing role models that we have around the room here. You guys are fantastic, and I'm so thankful for all of you. I remember, speaking of peak moments, I remember how pumped up I was when I saw Margot Daly, who's here, NCP, and the strength, the size, the passion, the pride, and the unity of AIESEC Berkeley when they won Best Local Committee at the National Conference. That was amazing. Remember I was telling you about the Journey song, Don't Stop Believing? So the NC was using that song for them to come up on stage. And every time I hear that song, I think of Margot and all the amazing people at Berkeley. So don't stop believing. In contrast, so I was at AIESEC Long Beach. We were on probation. Someone hadn't paid the bill. So the NC punished us because there were 3 criteria and we failed on one of them. We had a couple of traineeships and we had like less than a handful of active members. But I remember standing in the back there because I was all the way in the back because I don't really belong here. But I decided in that moment I wanted to do whatever it took to be that successful and have that kind of an amazing team experience. And so I came back to my ALC and I'm all pumped up and I'm talking to 2 people. This is what we're doing. Yeah. So that was fun. I met Shell too, Shell Easy, who was dumb enough, smart enough to choose me on her team at AIESEC United States. I have her to thank actually for many things, and I'll get back to that very soon. So a year later, though, we're at the national conference. I've been building up my team all year. This is what's going to happen, and this is why we're doing it. It's totally worth it. Late nights, tequila, and the bad stuff, like the Cuervo, right? Which will lead us back to the vodka thing in a minute, but and why we're not doing that. Anyway, the hard work was going to be worth it. In contrast to AIESEC Berkeley, I remember the devastating defeat we felt when we didn't get the most improved local committee, because that's what we were striving for. We'd worked our asses off all year to try to achieve that goal. And we're sitting there and someone else, I can't even remember who it was, got that award. And so I've got 30 people there, and they are all in tears, and they're drinking, and I felt I wanted to crawl under the table and hide because, I had totally and utterly disappointed my team and set clearly the wrong expectations. But as we were busy drowning our sorrows, they, in the back of, we start hearing something, and it sounds like someone's listing the accomplishments for one of the top 10 local committees, and they say 10 traineeships, 52 active members. I'm like, wait a minute. This is starting to sound a little familiar to me. So what happened? Well, my team went freaking nuts. We were recognized for our hard work, and we actually got a top 10 award, which is huge. We were so pumped. there was no way of getting the best LC. I think that was Madison at the time. They were crushing things. Crushing things. Was it not Madison? Maybe it was. I think it was, because they were amazing too. But anyway, that year, more than that event itself, we all learned how to think big, to stretch, to go out of our comfort zone, to try things we'd never tried before, to collaborate, to believe in ourselves, and to support each other. And these are lessons I carry with me to this day in my work at Yahoo and at Rocket, and in general, what I try to carry with me as a principal. We also, of course, learn to work hard and play hard, but I don't think we have time for that one right now. Get that. No, it's learned by doing, right? So we'll do it later. Alcohol, keep it clean. But listen, I wanted to also take a moment to put AIESEC in context today. Robin touched on it, and I was going to spend more time on this topic, but I felt like I should probably dial it back a little bit. I do live in California, so. But this is an historic time for our political system and the ideals of democracy, for freedom, and the exchange of people and ideas. AIESEC's never been about walls. But these challenges are not just here in the United States, they're all over the world. And so that means that AIESEC's ideals, our ideals, your ideals, are being challenged like never before. Fortunately, AIESEC is a resilient platform, and AIESECers are resilient people. Just like Facebook and Instagram, Twitter and Skype are global communication platforms that remove friction between people and share lots of cat pictures. AIESEC removes friction and connects people. It connects you, it connects me, it connects all of us here today and what we believe in. And because AIESEC is not only a platform for ideas, it's a platform for ideals. AIESEC was founded to prevent World War III, let's not forget that, with the idea of cultural understanding through work exchange and the highest ideals of personal and professional leadership. Ideals lived daily at the local level and on a global scale. So our roles as alumni and members are as relevant and as important as ever before. But relevance without action means nothing. As we learn from AIESEC, and many conference themes and many conference t-shirts, we have to think globally and act locally. I think Tina and Julie might still have those t-shirts. We have to do the right things and do things right. That was a popular video when I was in AIESEC. But we elect, and we expect AIESEC leaders to do good and be good. We step up, we level up, we bring people up around us to think big and do big. And thriving for 60 years the way AIESEC United States has done is big. So tonight we come together to celebrate all that AIESEC United States has achieved and to invest in its future and our future leaders. So I wanted to know what creating history together had meant for many of you, so I asked if you had any life-changing stories or peak moments that you were willing to share with me for this keynote. And I got lots. I actually got too many, and so I decided, there was too many I had to actually cover here and to do justice. So what we'll do is I'm going to collect them all and clean them up. And if you want an opportunity to edit them, I'll let you do that too. But we want to publish them on AIESEC Life, maybe on Facebook and in some newsletters. But these stories are worth sharing, and you'll recognize many of them. I'm not sure why I was surprised about the abundance of stories. That's exactly what AIESEC does. AIESEC is a story-making, life-changing machine. You send me stories of love, of life, of death, of stress, of success, discovery, and growth. So I'd like to tell you a story of heartbreak and hope. I told myself I wouldn't do this. It's the story of Joanne Boland. Damn it. Okay. Be in the moment, connect with people. Someone give me a friendly face. Thank you. Oh man, Joanne. It's the story of Joanne and the impact she continues to make. She was from AIESEC Miami of Ohio. She was VP of Human Resources at AIESEC US in 1992. She was on my team. She was godsend for me. She was such a good coach for me and advisor. Throughout her career in AIESEC, Joanne focused on the development of our leaders. Nobody cared more about that than anybody in the whole country. She was an international leader herself and inspired others to follow in her footsteps. And tragically, she died in a car accident on February 22nd, 1994. After her death, a few AIESECers created the Joanne Boland International Scholarship Fund in her memory. Its purpose is to continue her legacy of developing young leaders by sponsoring local committee members' attendance at international leadership development conferences. And here's what's really cool. While this fund holds the name of a very special AIESECer, it's created a dedicated avenue for AIESEC alumni to help sponsor the development of future AIESEC leaders. We've already awarded 40 scholarships. To our surprise and delight, it's also become quite a vetting tool. Did you know that almost a third of the recipients have gone on to national and international leadership roles in AIESEC, which is amazing. Yeah, that's huge. I have a few examples for you. Steve Jordan was the 2013 president of AIESEC United States. Dominic Smith, 2015 president of AIESEC United States. Gina Palmisano, Washington, D.C. hub leader as of January 2015. Sarah Kitvertis served 3 years as our Chicago hub leader. And Natalie Rogers, who's currently a VP of AIESEC United States, is also in charge, notably, of talent, just like Joanne. Her legacy continues. We are also fortunate to have 4 former recipients attending here today. I'd like to recognize them for their leadership, and I would like to ask Steve Jordan, Sarah Kitvartis, Sophia Lazaro, and AIESEC baby Michael Jalkio to please stand up. I'm on the selection committee, and it's my favorite thing to do is when we get the applications and we read their stories and we have to make decisions about who we can, fund, because we can't afford to fund everybody, unfortunately. We get a ton of applications, but it's just super fun to read your stories and to see what you want to do in AIESEC and make a contribution. Also, with regard to the fund, I'd like to recognize and thank Suzanne Moyer, David and Kara Coons, the Boland family, Joe Fletcher, Francesco Utile, who's the NCP of AIESEC Canada, he's here, Heidi Dickert, Laura Granucci, Renee Klosterman, Martin Alvarez, Karen Rady Thigpen, Danielle Lee, Niels Kasho, Lily Hine, Alicia Stammer, Jill Robinson, Adam Brand, and many, many, many others for helping launch the program to begin with, but actually nurturing it for all these years. And it's been around for a long time. And now we are here today, and I'm asking you to help us take it to the next level. The program is not yet self-funding. It basically is volunteers every year contributing some amount of money, alumni like yourself. And what we're trying to get to is a place where the fund actually funds itself and can take care of the scholarships that we need to grant every year. So we aspire to change that, and we want to achieve that with a big goal. So tonight, we're announcing Joanne's Leadership Challenge to raise $100,000 by the end of next year. Your donations will go directly to sending the best of our best to international conferences. So I hope you'll join me in honoring Joanne and what she stood for by making a contribution to the fund. We are not primarily here to do that today. There will be an opportunity to contribute to the fund, but really we were starting this effort now to grow the fund. I would like to close with an excerpt that Laura found, Laura Lloyd, formerly, from Joanne's favorite poem. It's called Dream Big. If there were ever a time to dare, to make a difference, to embark on something worth doing, it is now. Not for any grand cause necessarily, but for something that tugs at your heart. Something that is worth your aspiration, something that is your dream. You owe it to yourself. To make your days count, have fun, dig deep, stretch. Dream big. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for listening. I'd like to make a toast with bling. Cheers to you. Cheers to your peak moments. Cheers to creating history together for another 60 years. And I hope to be around for that. Skål.